We are 24 days into the 2025 Hell Hades free to play challenge, and I have to say, the slow roll approach, well, it's working just fine. We are smack dab in the middle of the leaderboards without a single concession to getting challenge points over the long term health of this account. In fact, everything I've done on this account is something that you can emulate. You don't need a ton of knowledge or a huge number of hours in game in order to get the success I've gotten. And this truly is a slow roll approach. I'll show you exactly how slow when we get into the account in just a moment. And then we're going to talk about how you can generate progress in areas without an over investment of resources or time. I think it's really revealing that we're doing so well this year. And I want to share the information and the insights I've gained with you today. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends free to play challenge. Let's get started. Just a quick reminder to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and consider joining our Discord community. And don't forget to catch our next Takeover Tuesday live stream, February 4th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope to see you there. Let's start by taking a look at the leaderboards. So as you can see, I am still in the middle of the pack here. I am at number 27, which is around where I've been for the last 5 days or so. I've moved up and down a little bit, but for the most part, I've been right around the middle. Now, this is surprising to me because of how slow I'm playing this account. I've put in a few extra hours just at the end of the last arena rotation. But other than that, I've been playing about 2 to 3 hours a day on average, with a few days going closer to 4 hours. But that's it. And that might seem a lot to some people. It might seem like not very much to others. But I can guarantee you that most of the content creators in this challenge are playing their challenge accounts pretty aggressively. So the people who are above me, if you ask them how many hours they're putting in a day, my guess would be on average, it's probably somewhere 5, 6, or maybe even as many as 8 hours a day. I know last year at this point in time, I was probably putting in at least 8 to 10 hours a day on my challenge account. So it feels much friendlier to me as an experience than last year's challenge, because I'm just not burning out on it. I'm still playing my main account fully, so I haven't pulled back on that. I'm still playing my King Arthur Legends Rise account fully, so I haven't pulled back on that. And yet I'm finding enough time to still be effective on this account, which is really interesting. Now let's take a look at the actual various leaderboards here. We'll just compare against the other creators. So you can see here, champion development, I'm near the back of the pack at 45 with only 2 level 60s. I'm going to show you my roster in just a few minutes. But I've been able to get all of the progress that I've gotten with only 2 60s. In fact, I think, the last content creator to make his first 60. And the second one came, I would say 9 days later. I think I made my first on day 9, my second on day 18. And I'm just about getting ready for my third, which will probably happen around day 27. So it might be about 9 days per 6-star, which is much, much slower than the pace I was on last year. And yet I'm still doing pretty well in terms of progress. You can see my Great Hall development is a little bit behind. That's about playtime. The more time you put into the game, the more you can play arena. And yet I've had no trouble getting into gold 1 and staying there. That's where I finished this ranking period this week. And it dropped me back to, I think, silver 4, and I'm already in gold 1 again. So I am doing decently in terms of leveling up my Great Hall, but you can see that other people are pushing this a bit harder. Now, Faction Wars, I'm not surprised. I'm, near the top. I was as high as 7, I think, just a day or two ago. I still haven't done all of my keys for today. So this might go up a little bit. But you know that I focus on Faction Wars progression. I have a whole method to get a lot of materials, forge materials out of Faction Wars. And that also results in some stars, which gets you, rewards there. And we'll take a look at that. My classic arena rank, you can see gold 1. Most people are in gold 1 or above. Tag team arena rank is kind of funny. I'm actually 15th. I'm in bronze 2. And this is with only 2 6-stars. In fact, I think I only have 3 50s on top of those 2 60s. So this is with a really limited roster. And I did put some time in here over the last probably 36 hours or so, and we'll take a look at how I accomplished that. But this is a place where you can just get a lot of resources. The bazaar is a really nice place to pick up some freebies. So I don't want to neglect 3v3 arena, and you really don't have to, because bronze 1, 2, and 3 are pretty easy. Once you get to bronze 4, it gets harder. But even here with an early game account, I think you can make some progress. My fastest champion, unfortunately, is fairly slow. My gear is still pretty bad, although I've started to collect more decent gear. But I'm just not quite getting the right substats for the champions that I need. Normal campaign progress. This is all just based on speed, who got there first. So I do have Brutal completely done. I haven't really touched Nightmare at all, and I don't really expect to very much. I might go after some resources there eventually. But for right now, I'm putting my energy in other places. Demon Lord progress, it puts me at 9th. I don't think this is accurate. I still think there's a glitch here or a bug. I feel like I'm probably in the bottom half, but I'm doing okay. I will show you that in game in a few minutes. Then here are my dungeons. My dungeons are okay. Spider's okay. You can see best stage is 11. I've got 13 on the others. On Ice Golem and Fire Knight, 16 on Dragon. Minotaur is okay. I can farm stage 15 in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Then I've got the keeps, which don't matter that much, although you do want to be able to farm your affinity potions for, your 6 stars. And then I've got the Iron Twins I'm doing okay on. I've gotten one affinity to stage 5. The rest are like stage 3. And then Sand Devils and the event dungeon. So, I'm hovering in the middle of most of these. My highest ones tend to be in the high teens, with the one exception of Demon Lord, which, like I said, I don't think is right. So, 13, 15, that's really good for me. And then a lot of the other stuff is, 40s, 30s, some 20s. So nothing stands out as particularly well, measured against the rest of the field. And yet I'm right in the middle of the pack. And I think the reason why is because of the one-time points, right? People who are ahead of me have those one-time points. People who are behind me might not have those one-time points yet. What I mean by the one-time points is, if you get, for instance, if you push Spider from stage 11 to stage 16, you get points for 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, but you only get it the first time you clear that stage. So I don't have all of those one-time points that probably other people do. I bet there are people who are at stage 20 on some of these dungeons, so they're going to have more points than I do. I think the biggest difference in the slow roll is really about the champion development and having only 2 6 stars. So let's jump into the account. We'll take a look at the roster, and I'll show you sort of how I've created my teams out of the champions that I own. Okay, so here's my roster, and I was wrong. I have 4 level 50s on top of the 2 60s. Now I have Alice the Wanderer and Athel both at 60. I think this was a mistake. I think, honestly, I could have avoided using Athel or taking her to 6 stars, because Alice is a much better campaign farmer and generally hits harder and does everything better. Obviously, being able to book Athel was nice. I think part of the reason Athel is struggling is because of the gear. The lifesteal gear this year was really, really bad, and I haven't been able to really update her gear in probably 2 weeks. So she's been in the same gear for a long time, and I just haven't had much gear luck. So maybe she'll get better as we go, but honestly, I'm relying on her less and less. And the plan moving forward doesn't really include Athel outside of just a few places. So for instance, I'm going to keep using her in faction crypts. Obviously, she's the key component there in the Sacred Order. And then she'll probably make an appearance in Doom Tower frequently. But I don't think she's going to be in my clan boss team for very long. She might not be in my dungeon teams for very long because I'm going to have better options. So as a result, I'm a little bit disappointed with the performance of my starter champion this year. But Alice has been great. Alice has actually been a surprise. She's been better than I thought she would be, even without the books. She's very effective in arena. She's very effective against waves. So she's good in dungeons. And one of the things I really like about her is actually this A1. Each hit has an 80% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. So yeah, you would have to book this to get 100%, but 80% is really nice. And she often is hitting 3 times. So if you got an opportunity to, drop those buffs on the enemy up to 3 duration, total, that can be a really nice kind of sneaky way to get a buff off of an enemy. And then her A2 is absolutely phenomenal. You can see I've put a few books into her. So this is hitting a little bit harder. And then same thing with the A3. The A3 hits pretty hard. as well. I still have her in Brimstone. I get my 5-star soul tomorrow, which will be nice because it'll give me additional accuracy and an increased chance of landing that smite, which should boost my clan boss damage and my damage against other bosses. But I think eventually I'll want to take her out of Brimstone, if I can get somebody else into Brimstone, and put her into either Soul Reap or into, where is it? Crushing Rend. So one of those two is probably going to be where she's going to end up, but I'm not 100% sure yet. And I only can change it free one time. So for right now, she's in Brimstone. She's going to stay in Brimstone. Now, I think the carry of the team has been Tagore. You can see he's basically fully booked out. I didn't have to put all the books into his A1. And he has this ability, which is an increased speed and a heal and an AoE hit. Doesn't hit very hard, but it's quite a nice ability. It's quite a nice ability. This is probably the most reliable heal. And then he's got the AoE revive, which you can use just as a shield, and it's a decent sized shield. So he's also got this little passive, decreases damage received by allies with 50% or less HP by 10%. So he actually makes everybody a little more survivable there as well. And then, of course, the one big pull I've actually had on the account, I only pulled Ancients during the 2x Ancients. I happened to get a Geomancer who, as you can see, he's starting to get booked. I did land a bunch of books into his A3, which was nice. But now I've got to get this A2 hopefully booked at some point. Right now, it's not a priority. I'm actually trying to book Ugo instead. So I'm booking her before Geomancer because I landed all of the A3 books. And she needs books in both her A3 and her A2. That's going to be important for her overall effectiveness. You can see I'm struggling a little bit with getting everybody their stars, but it's okay because I don't really have any good accessories for anybody anyway. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky. So let's talk about progress and what I've been able to make here. For the most part, I'm not using Sun Wukong anymore. So I don't know how valuable he is with Alice and your starter champion already in the rotation. He's good in Arena, and I'm primarily using him there. I'm also using him in the event dungeon, and I'm using him in a couple of boss fights for the block debuffs or the buff strip. And I know I already have a block debuffs from Ugo, but she doesn't have a buff strip, and sometimes she's a bad affinity, and so I bring in Sun Wukong because if she's a bad affinity, he's a good affinity. You know, plus he's got a decent amount of accuracy already, so in his build, so he usually lands what I need him to land. But so my team is generally Alice, Athel, Ugo, Tagore, and Geomancer, and I'm using those 5 champions pretty much everywhere, including Spider, including, you know, Clan Boss. I'll show you the Clan Boss team. And by the way, as you can see, Geomancer is currently built in regen, which seems to be working okay. And I think, you know, if I leveled up his gear a little bit more, it would work even better. And once I can get him, you know, the 5-star ascension and get him an amulet, that might get him a little bit more survivability. I do have one here that's got some HP resistance and accuracy on it. It is 4 stars, but that'll work. And, you know, so he's going to continue to get stronger. And I've been working on masteries, but not that much. I need to, like, push this a little bit more. You can see I've been getting masteries on everybody. I bought masteries on Alice and Athel. Okay, so why is this working? Why is this working? And I think it's working for a few reasons. One is there's a lot of synergy from the free champions that we received, right? Especially Tagore and Ugo. They give the team a lot of sturdiness. You've got Ugo's cleanse, right? She's got the cleanse and the little heal here. And it's a mini cleanse. It only removes 1 random debuff plus any heal reductions. But she has that. That's really nice. Then you have the additional heal from Tagore and the increased speed. Increased speed is really valuable, especially since my gear is not that great. This helps me quite a lot. And then, of course, the AoE revive, or you could just use it as a shield. So we've got a shield, a revive, a heal, an increased speed, a mini cleanse, and a second heal. Just from those 2 champions. That's really nice. Plus, I often use Tagore as my aura lead. So he's also giving me that. So I'm getting 8 benefits from 2 champions. And I just think leaning into these 2 champions has made a big difference. I was originally running Tagore in a shield set, but I've moved him out of that to get him a bit faster and more, you know, kind of sturdier. So I'm not getting the benefit of shield set anymore, which I miss a little bit. It hurts in some places, but overall, the extra speed has become so much more valuable because it gets him back around to his heals and his revives even faster. Plus, he's just harder to take down, and you want your reviver to be tanky. So he's got like another 8,000 HP or something and a 200 or 300 defense more than what he had before. And then I think that, Alice, with all of the stuff that you're getting, you can see I actually got this Sacred Order amulet. This is just from the Alice chase, right? It was okay. You can see it double rolled into crit damage, so it gave me a little more crit damage, had a little more accuracy, rolled into attack, got more HP, so she's more survivable. And I'm a day behind everybody else. We talked about that before, but so I'm one server day behind. And so my Alice chase is I'm getting the Primal Shard tonight, and then I'll get the banner tomorrow. So I'll have a 6-star banner for her. I'm hoping for this to land into either attack or accuracy. Hopefully it's one of those. If it's not, then I would like HP. And if it can have speed as a substat, that would be awesome. And then the next day, I'm going to get the 5-star Split Soul, which will boost her effectiveness as well. Now, I want to talk about what my plan has been on this account. And right from the get-go, I said I'm not going to pull shards except during 2x events or for fusion events or things like fusion events where you can get a guaranteed champion. So I pulled a bunch of all my ancient shards when I had them during the 2x ancient shard event that we had 3 weeks ago. And I got my Geomancer. So Geomancer has been, helping out quite a bit. He definitely improved the damage I have in Clan Boss. And we'll take a look at Clan Boss in just a moment. But as you can see, I have 3 Void Shards. I expect a 2x Void Shard event this upcoming weekend. So starting on Friday, right? Today is Monday. So in 5 days, we'll have a 2x Void Shard event. We also have a champion chase over that weekend. I believe the fusion event will start this week, but I could be wrong. It could be pushed back. Maybe because of the launch of the new patch that's going to drop on Wednesday, they've decided to push back the fusion a week. That could happen. But I'm going to be pulling my Void Shards regardless if it's a 2x event. I'm not going to hold them for the fusion. I'm going to use them during a 2x event. And I should have several more Void Shards before that time. Because if we go to the login screen, we can see there is one right here. By the way, this High Katoon will land on Saturday for me. So Saturday night, I'll be pulling High Katoon. So that's going to be during the champion chase as well. And then for the champion chase, I'm going to be able to get Relic Keeper done. And I'm going to be able to get Broadmaw done, plus all of these rares. So we're looking at a lot. This is 100 points and 200 points. That's 350. So that's 550. This is going to be another 350. So that's 900. And then I've got 2 of the Sabbathas. That's 900 plus 700. So 1,600 points right there. Plus the High Katoon is 1,850, I believe. Wait, what did I just say? So anyway, I'm probably going to be over 2,000 points with just Fragment Champions and Permanent Fusion. So I hope this weekend is the Fusion event. Because if not, I'm going to have to hold all of those things for an additional 2 weeks. Because that means the Fusion event would probably start on a Summon Rush. Now for the Summon Rush, I have currently 3 Sacred Shards. But again, I am going to get additional shards here. I'm going to get this Sacred Shard tomorrow when the Force Keep opens, or tonight. And then I'm going to get this Void Shard for the 2x Void event if I have to, right? So if it is a 2x Void, I will complete all of these challenges. It's just silver to complete these challenges. So I will need a little bit of silver, but I should be able to get some silver, no problem. And so I'm going to have that Void Shard. And I think after this, there might be another Sacred Shard. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the 10th challenge, part 10 of 10, is a Sacred Shard. I don't know if I'll be able to get that in time for when I need it. I'm hoping that the Champion Chase is the start of the Fusion, and then the Summon Rush is the following week. That would give me an extra week to get that Sacred Shard from this challenge. So I'll have this one. This will be my 4th. That one would be my 5th. There is a very small possibility that I could go for the Nightmare one here and get a 6th, but honestly, I don't think I need it, and I think it would be too much effort and a waste of resources. So I'm probably not going to go for that one. I am currently doing pretty well in Clan Boss. So I have a 1 key normal. You can see 12.7 million here. I have a 1 key hard some days. In fact, today I probably have a 1 key hard right here. Let's go ahead and use it. You can see this is my Clan Boss team. So I do have Geomancer here. As soon as I get these 3 champions to 60, if I decide to do these as my next 360s, I think I'm going to be able to 1 key above this. What's this? So this is hard. I think I'll be able to 1 key brutal, or at least 2 key brutal. Because right now I'm on, I think, like a 4 key. No, maybe a 3 key. I think I'm getting about 8 million. So that'd be a 3 key brutal. But let's go ahead and do the hard one. This hopefully will be a 1 key. What do we need? We need 11 million or something, 11.65 million. This is a good affinity for us. So let's go ahead and just quick battle that. So I've gotten a 1 key in the past, but it's not on every affinity. Sometimes I get like 10.8 million. It's so frustrating. So there we go. 1 key, 12.82 million, which is nice. And again, this is mostly because I have 2 champions who have their tier 6 masteries. So I have Giant Slayer on Athel and War Master on Alice. I think I went with War Master on Alice. And then obviously Geomancer came in here and boosted my damage quite a bit. You can see he's doing 4.6 million. Alice is doing 5.5. So yeah, Athel's only doing 2.2 at this point. So again, I think Athel's going to be coming out of this team relatively soon. Who knows what's going to happen, because we still have to pull our Void Shards next weekend. And so if I get, a good Void Epic, or if I get like a Cold Heart or something, that may change my approach to my 6 stars. Now, I have been doing most of the events and stuff. I've been picking up some points here. So if you look at the Tea Party event, I've got a few points here. I don't expect to get to the Cat's Gaze. I don't think that's possible at this point. I would have liked to. I was kind of hoping to, but I just don't have enough hours in the day in the game. Like I said, it's probably on average about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. And so I think I would have to be doing more than that in order to get these rewards. If I could get to this Void Shard, that would be awesome, but I don't think that's going to happen either. I think realistically, probably I'll get this 4-star chicken. I'll maybe pick up the Hatter's Reserve. And then, on this 3rd trek, who knows? Maybe I'll get as far as like the energy down here. That would be nice. Or the Skill Tome. The Epic Skill Tome at 540 would be really nice. So I might have enough points to go and get those, but I'm not too fussed about it. This isn't really something I planned on doing anyway. So these are all just extras, which is kind of nice. Like, I don't need any of those things. Now, one of the concerns that I do have is the lack of legendary skill tomes, especially if I get a new legendary fusion. And if I happen to pull a legendary from shards or anything, because I'm going to be pulling these sacred shards during the summon rush, we'll have to see. For those events, I'm probably going to max out the champion chase and just do the first stage of the summon rush. That's probably what it's going to end up being. But there is a chance of pulling a legendary. And I think what's happened for most people in this challenge is in an attempt to get as many points as possible, especially early on, and like really snowball their account. Most people have pulled their shards, probably all of their shards up until this point. Maybe they've stopped, in the last 5 days or 10 days or whatever. But I think people were just, not everybody, but a lot of people were pulling shards the whole way. And if you get lucky and you hit something good, that can help you snowball your account. But the limitation here right now for me is not the roster. The roster I have is excellent. And I have all of, except for Geomancer, if I just look at the 5 free champions I got, Athel, Alice, Sun Wukong, Ugo, and Tagore. If I didn't pull Geo and I just invested in those 5 champions, I would probably be doing close to as well as I'm doing right now. I don't think Geo's given me a huge bump in too many places other than Clan Boss. Now, he will begin to show more and more influence on the account moving forward. But up to this point, I think I could have gotten 95% of my progress without Geomancer. And remember, I only got him in the 2x Ancient Shard event. So, actually, that wasn't 3 weeks ago. That was 1 week ago, wasn't it? But anyway, so I think, getting a lot of champions is cool because it helps you in places like Faction Crypts and maybe Doom Tower, but it's not really necessary. And if you are trying to play, say, 2 to 3 hours a day, this is where the slow roll is attractive, right? Because it's like, oh, I just build the free champion. I can save my resources for the most opportune moments, for the 2x events, for the fusions, for something where you can get extra value, preferably extra legendary tomes or extra epic tomes or a lot of extra energy or gems. So that is how I'm trying to roll this account. And if you look at like my missions are coming along, right? So not too bad. I actually messed up and I missed twice. I missed a potion keep. And so I could have been much further along, but I'm going to finish this entire batch of missions out very quickly once I get past that potion keep. And in fact, the funny thing here is there are like several void shards, I think, down near the end. Yeah, there's 2 void shards. So I could even get those potentially before the champion chase. So I feel really good. I feel really good about where the account is. As far as, my next 6-star is concerned, it might be Tagore, it might be Geo, or depending on how quickly it comes, it might be Morag. Probably not. I guess even Ugo could be potential. But I would say it's probably between Tagore and Geomancer. I wanted to show you the benefits of the slow roll for the long-term health of the account. So I unlocked my gem mine fully really quickly. I got masteries on my first 2 champions, and then I unlocked my gem mine. So that's been paying me 15 gems every day. And I think I did that by like day, it was like 11 or 12, something like that, maybe 13. So for the last 10 days, I've gotten 15 gems each, at least. So I'm already 150 gems back on my investment. Now, I won't get the full investment before the end of the 90-day challenge, but I will get the full investment before 120 days, right? So by the next month, by the month following the free-to-play challenge, whoever has this account is going to have all of those gems back, plus they're going to be generating 15 a day, and they're not going to have to worry about investing at that point. In addition, I have unlocked 2 additional stages of the Guardian Ring. The only reason I haven't unlocked all of the slots is because I don't know when the fusion's coming, and I want gems for the fusion. I'm hoping to have about 1,000 gems for the fusion. So if the fusion doesn't happen until next week, so it's not happening, let's say this Thursday, but next Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, then I will probably unlock at least one, if not both of these additional slots. And that's going to help me get more 6-stars faster. So I do think that this is a good investment. And it also, another thing that it can help you with is like points for champion training. Or for instance, I level up epics that I have for faction crypts. Like if I don't want to, I run them in campaign till like level 30 or something, then I just throw them in the Guardian Ring and I can kind of passively level them if their faction isn't coming up in like the next 48 hours, say. Oh yeah, and then faction crypts you can see here, I'm still doing pretty well. I have 158 stars. I haven't really pushed too many more stars, but I am hoping to either close out these 4 stars or maybe push past stage 7 here and get to stage 8. And this is going to be done entirely with food. These are 100% food champions. I don't have a champion I'm saving here. So it's 2 Valeries and then just some 40s that I've made. These are going to become the 5-star chickens for probably my Geomancer or Morag. And yeah, and so I might throw like a shield set on one and maybe some trash gear on another one. And I'm hoping to get past this boss. I've done it before. Where I've been able to push past a boss with just trash or just chickens. And then sometimes once you get past stage 7, stage 8 is actually relatively easy to farm. So you don't need quite the same team. I did that in Lizardman. So I actually pushed past the first boss in the Lizardman crypt, and I can farm stage 8 with just 2 level 40 champions. And then, some chickens. So I'm doing that with all of the factions, and that's where the faction war stars are coming from. But that's also where I'm getting forged materials for my resilience and my perception. And then in Doom Tower, I've only been able to push up to stage 50, and I don't think I'm going to get through stage 50 before this rotation ends. Maybe I will. We've got 10 days left, so maybe I'll get past this. It's a pretty tricky one for the team that I've got. I do think I can get past it if I 6-star a few more champions, but that I might only get 1 more in this rotation. If I can get past it, then that'd be great. Then I can pick up some more resources. But again, not critical. This void shard would be nice. If I could do that, I would do that. I would even love this epic tome up here, I think. Yeah, that would be great. But in general, I'm just farming this guy. I'm farming the Eternal Dragon for Bloodthirst. So let me see. I think I farmed used all my Bloodthirst materials for the most part. So I have 10 more pieces here. Now it is 3 and 4 star gear. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm getting, epic materials yet, but that's okay. There you have it. That's the progress I've made in 24 days. I think I'm going to have a very successful run this year, despite the slow roll. I don't know where I'll end up on the leaderboards, but I think I'll probably end up in the top half. I think I will end up in the top half. I feel more confident making that claim now, but who knows? Because there's a long way to go and people are going to do some crazy things with their accounts. It's always fun to watch. So make sure you're checking out all of the content creators in the challenge. Some of them are very small content creators. Maybe you don't know, very well, but if you go to the leaderboards, let me show you just one more time. If you come here, you can just click on any of these logos and it'll take you, it'll give you a little pop-up and you can click on that and it'll take you directly to that content creator's YouTube page or Twitch, channel, and go ahead and see what they're doing, because people are doing some cool things. All right, that is it for me today. Let me know in the comments below what you think about my slow roll approach. Something that you could do? I think so. All right, that is it for me today. Thanks so much for hanging out. I've been Colred. I will see you in another video soon.